Another leg day going down. This workout was a little rough because it is the last leg workout of the training block. So we've been going along at a pretty good clip for about 8 or 9 weeks um, of nothing easy. Very very hard training, very early mornings, um, and always starting out with legs. So we're at the point in the block where the strength gains have come to a slow creep, if not a grinding halt. So, if progressive overload and trying to get stronger on movements is the goal, we got a couple of different choices. Um, One, we can switch up the exercises and try to eke out some progress there, or we could just take the deload. So I'm going to opt for the deload instead of trying to increase volume to introduce a new stimulus or anything like that. I'm just going to take the deload, and then we're going to have a couple of short blocks of training. Um, and then Ramadan comes up around about middle of April. So the way I'm figuring this is that I'm counting backwards from like the middle of April. It's estimated April 12th is when Ramadan kicks off. So I'm planning the long range calendar to have the resensitization or priming phase during Ramadan while I'm fasting, drop some body fat, get a little tight, and then take another deload, which is more of an active rest scenario, and then go into, I guess, another massing phase. But it's not really a massing phase. It's more of a getting stronger or brutally strong at some movements phase. I've also come to find out just by trial and error that I can only really pick one movement per body part to really get, really strong at. So for legs right now, that's leg press. And for the next block, which I hope to push 12 weeks, um, I'm going to try to really, really work hard over the next few training cycles to just dominate the hack squat. I've never been exceptionally strong at that movement, and sometimes I cut them pretty high. Um, but I'm gonna try to push the envelope when it comes to hack squatting, and um, leg pressing is definitely gonna have an area there within the program. So with that being said, getting to that overreaching phase. So when you have a long training block, and I consider anything over 6 weeks a relatively long training block, um, you have to account for that overreaching phase. So overreaching and overtraining are two totally different things, right? Overreaching, you're getting into basically the preschool phase of overtraining, but you're not beat down into the dirt like most people are when they get to that phase. So to accommodate for the residual effect that could come from an overreaching phase, you have to, number one, it's not going to be on paper. Um, it's gonna go by how your body feels. So when you get to that overreaching phase, everything feels heavy. You don't want to go to the gym. You're tired all the time. You're irritable. You're cranky. Like I said, it's the preschool phase of overtraining. Whereas overtraining, you're not making any progress. You're not getting any stronger or anything like that. Even with this, I touched 6 plates, and I haven't touched this exercise in weeks. Actually, a couple months, at least religiously. So there's still some juice there. So I'm in that overreaching phase. But by and large, it's just really time to shut it down and to focus on a deload. So the overreaching phase can play a, a really big role in you progressing into that next block. Because once you shut it down and you're already in overreaching, then your body is just in deep recovery mode. And that residual effect that you got from that phase can go into the next block of training and you can get stronger and i.e. bigger, all that. So please keep that in mind when you're planning out your training, that you need to account for that overreaching phase. Everybody understood what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to get across. It makes sense in my mind, but my mind is kind of warped. So, like I said, this is the last heavy leg session. It was done on purpose, keeping it heavy, keeping it intense, and now we're closing out the block, starting back up on Wednesday. We're keeping the same split, and even in the deload, we're going to keep the same rotation. So, what's next? Well, like I said, deload and reduce intensity, reduce load. Then crafting out the next block, and that's going to be relatively short. So I have to figure out how many weeks I want it to run, because like I said, I'm counting backwards from Ramadan. And Ramadan is going to be like my priming resensitization block, seeing as I'm not taking in many calories during that time frame. So that's the thing that I'm having to contend with right now. Overall, very happy with how this block progressed. I noticed a difference definitely in my recovery ability going back to once a week body part training. I noticed a difference in how fresh I feel, especially in the upper body around the chest area. Chest got a little bit rounder. But there are some other concepts that I'm going to play with, especially with Jordan Peters putting out an ebook. I haven't had a chance to grab that yet. Hopefully I will sometime in the very near future, but there are some concepts in there that I want to take a look at. Always RP concepts, Renaissance periodization concepts, I love. I recently was able to get their male physique training templates, and I've been playing around with the 4-day split and the full body split. That's very, very interesting. So we'll see where that goes. But, man, I just love training, love educating people about training, at least from my perspective. My overreaching ramble won't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, and that's fine. I don't have a biomechanics degree. I am not a CSCS yet. So the way I explain overreaching is very bootleg, it's very hood, but you want to know something? I think it works if people want to listen to it. So had to cut the session short today, had to run home, get some stuff done. Usually I end off with a couple of sets of leg extensions, really high rep, and I had planned a drop set today. But I guess it was a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise, because the leg extension machine at the gym really didn't operate right. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for letting the old man ramble. Please like, subscribe, share the video if you got any value from it. These are mainly for you. Yes, I document my training and it keeps me accountable, but these are mainly for you. So if there's any subject that you'd like for me to touch on, please feel free to leave it in the comments. So follow me on IG, Tenacity Strength, and I'll be bringing you more content as the year goes on. We're in 2021, first leg workout of the year down, and very, very happy. So until next time, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next time.